All right, welcome back to Nostalgic Overload Podcast, a podcast dedicated to everything 90s and 2000s, from movies to music to anything pop culture that we feel like talking about. I am your host, Weston, and my co-host right here is Andrew. So we want to give a shout out to everybody that has been liking, sharing, just overall commenting on all of our posts across all of our platforms, from TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube. We greatly appreciate everyone's support overall across the board. It has been overwhelming at times, and we will try to get to everyone who we can, but we really appreciate all this support and spreading the joy, because this podcast was started just to reminisce and like for you to like start your day and to just have like good chill vibes, I guess you could say. You know, just kind of hang out as two friends. That's why we kind of just have it open here. We want it to feel like you're just like hanging out with us, and we're all just like talking about old times. And it's cool to hear about other people's like stories about like things that they grew up with, and like their own nostalgia-ness, I guess you could say.
Your own passions.
I just created that word, but yeah, your own like passions of what we enjoy. So it's cool to hear from everybody, because this whole thing does not go without everyone else's support, so we appreciate it. The first topic is going to be Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, and right over here I actually have my original copy. And what makes this copy even better, it's not because it has a manual, it's not because it has a disc, it's because of what's inside. Because right inside is a receipt from back in the 90s, the original OG receipts from KB Toys. And the year on it is 12/14/2000s, and it was exchanged for the same one on 3/12/01. So it's just cool, and you can see the price. The price is $44.99, and then with tax and everything, it's $52.76. So it's just cool to have the original receipt from back in the day. I thought that was cool when I picked it up. I was like, man, like that's just wild to just think like KB Toys from back in the day, and to have this. And we all know that PS1 games are notorious to be scratched, because those black backs on them for some reason never want to work right and always want to just mess up. So really cool to have the original receipt with the old game. So I thought it was cool to share.
And
because
it was exchanged 21 years ago.
Yeah. Which was a great game, by the way. This game right here, I have to say, hands down, made me want to learn how to skateboard. And I had the KB Toy skateboard, which was like 500 pounds, it felt like, trying to kick, flip, and ollie. But it's just really cool to have the original game. But the game, there's so much to it, just like from like the music to like the game feel, just like learning how to like play skate with your friends on there, where you collect all the letters to make the word skate, and that OG hangar where you open up to the first scene with the first like playground, I guess you could call it. And it's just really neat to have like that feel of like feeling like you're like skateboarding. And the person I always picked, and I remember this for some reason, is Jamie Thomas. Even though Tony Hawk was in the game, I still never picked Tony Hawk for some reason. I was like, everyone knows Tony Hawk, let's just pick someone who's different. But you had like Rodney Mullen, Bob Burnquist.
I always chose Rodney Mullen.
What's that other guy's name? Cameron?
Yeah.
Cameron. He was really good. But Jamie Thomas, I don't know why. I don't know if it was because of the skull on his shirt, I think it was, or the skateboard or whatever, but it was just like, I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm going bald and he was like my bald guy. I don't know. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 is a skateboarding video game originally developed by Neversoft and published by Activision. It is the second of the Tony Hawk video game series and the sequel to Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1. It was originally released for PlayStation on September 20th, 2000, and is a later ported to the Nintendo 64, Dreamcast, and for the first time Windows and Mac. Adaptations for the Game Boy Color and the Game Boy Advance were also released in 2010. A cut-down port was released on iOS devices. So just really cool. And they just recently had a a re-release for the PS4, PS5 of the
I think it was PS5. It's the
1 and 2.
1 and 2. Yeah, I bought it.
You bought it? Is it awesome?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks great.
Yeah, it just had that like feel to it, but like more graphics to it than
beefed up graphics, but same exact game, just even better.
Even better.
Yeah, just not so pixelated as it was.
Yeah, like real blocky.
Yeah.
It is just a fun game, like just, and remember like back then how like the skateboarding scene was kind of like really hot, you know, you had like the magazines and like everyone wanted to be a skateboarder.
CCS,
it felt like
buying shoes out of a catalog. Again, this is before the internet was oversaturating everyone. You had CCS magazines where you'd have to place an order for skate shoes through the magazine or go to Get Wet locally here in Evansville,
which isn't around anymore actually.
Yeah,
which really sucks. I was actually at the new skate park yesterday. It's just so awesome that we here locally have the school or the cool like skateboard place to go now. Like back in the day, you were just kind of doing it on the streets or in front of your house or just wherever you could find a place at the gas station or
hitting local skate spots. Yeah,
and then you had like Lamasco's here locally, which was like the sketchiest skateboard place to go.
You could either get tetanus from the ramps that were rusting, or you got stabbed by someone that was living in a camp down by the creek.
And there wasn't very good like skateboard ramps there either, though. It wasn't like it is at like the new one. The new one is really nice. Like I wish I was a kid still and I could go out there and do stuff.
Dude, we're too fragile now. We're too old.
as your brother knows.
Yeah. Yeah. Broke his ankle. Now he's a weatherman.
He's a weatherman.
I don't know. I like
he does like the weather a lot. I just realized, that is true. He could be a weatherman.
He can feel that pressure change.
But no, it's definitely skateboarding games back in the day I felt like just had some kind of like pull on us as kids. Like my first time hearing the song Power Man 5000 When Worlds Collide was from that game. I remember you were in a game and you'd be playing and like now you can like play music in the background and stuff, but the music was like everything in like the games, like that's where you would hear, like that's where I heard like remember is from a game called was it Burnout or something like that. It's where you like racing, you're crashing into cars. So like music in games like this were like a big thing to like get exposure out there, and like Tony Hawk games definitely brought together like the music in the game type thing.
They definitely had dope soundtracks all the time. But that Neversoft intro to the game with the eyeball.
Yeah, the little.
Yeah, it's always stuff.
And it always had a different one for each game. Yeah. Like it was like just like, well, it was almost like waiting to like watch it.
Yeah.
You know.
Never skipped it.
But the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 game introduced manuals, a groundbreaking move that allowed players to connect different tricks and combos on ground. Default manual, nose manual tricks were assigned to up, down, up combinations, which became standard in the series, and special manual tricks appeared, such as Casper and Anti-Casper and etc. Now the manuals, remember having to like try to like balance your board, and like you have that little odometer where you're trying to like get like right in the middle, and like as you go longer it gets going faster where you're like rocking and then you face play it.
You're just trying to nail tricks to keep a combo going.
And Rodney Mullen is the king of manuals back then. Like I don't know of anyone else.
Still is today probably.
Yeah, he actually still skateboards. Do you know that? He gets up every day at like 3 a.m. or something in the morning before anyone is up, and he goes out and rides. Can you imagine you're like up early and hey, that's Rodney Mullen riding around. Like, I remember playing as him in a video game.
Yeah.
And he's just enjoying life. Like, but he's the king for sure of annuals because, like,
he created a lot of the moves.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, he's just a balance god, man.
We're just playing it in video games because we're like, we can't really skateboard that good. So we're like, if you go on a video game.
As a kid, there's no way. Definitely wasn't well balanced.
Well, I couldn't go much higher than an ollie, probably, honestly, nowadays. But I always find it intriguing, though, in, like, the ramps when you would go down and, like, seeing people in person do it versus when you're on the game, you're, like, going in that hangar one where you're going back and forth real fast and you're trying to hit the 900 or big twist or whatever it is that you're trying to hit. And it's like, I'll eventually get it. But in real life, I'm like, I would never try to do that.
Never be able to do it. The physics of it is astounding to me. Like, just watching skateboard videos, I'm like, oh, man. You're literally flipping a tiny board on trucks and wheels.
A tiny piece of wood with wheels and trucks on it.
And you've captivated me.
So, some of the available characters are Tony Hawk, Bob Burnquist, Cameron Campbell, Rune Glifberg, Bucky Lasek, which is a popular skateboarder, Chad Muska, Andrew Ronalds, which I think he still skateboards, Geoff Rowley, Eric Cosson, which is a great skateboarder, Steve Caballero, which is an awesome skateboarder, Elisa Steamer, Jamie Thomas, Rodney Mullen, and then some of the extra characters is Officer Dick, Private Carrera, and then Spider-Man. Come on, like, I never played a Spider-Man in this game. And then Trixie replaces Pirate Caravan, available on the Xbox and Dreamcast version, and then Mindy replaces Private Carrera and Officer Dick on only the Game Boy version. Which, what a name, Officer Dick.
Yeah. I mean, some of them are dicks, you know. But to play as Spider-Man,
I never got to play as Spider-Man. That would be pretty sweet, though.
Jamie Thomas was legendary too.
Unlike the previous entries' emphasis on underground punk, rock, and ska soundtrack, the soundtrack of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 caters to more hip-hop feel while keeping the punk rock intact. Yeah. So it definitely gave like that
variety of music.
Like alternative like type of music. It's not playing like Creed or something like that. It's more of like underground music at times. But an awesome soundtrack, and you would just keep listening, and like while you're skateboarding, you have this songs going.
You could even choose which tracks you wanted to play. Like there was that little boxes by them, so you could check it, like to keep it on or uncheck it, and it would come out of rotation.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I just listened to Power Man 5000 the entire time.
That's probably the best song. I think that's probably the best song. All right. Some of the music is Blood Brothers by Papa Roach, which Papa Roach was really big. Bring the Noise by Anthrax, and Public Enemy, Bees and Apocalypse 91, The Enemy Strike Back, Guerrilla Radio, which is a great song by Rage Against the Machine. What's that next one?
Pin the Tail on a Donkey.
And then
Naughty by Nature. You got You by Bad Religion. When Worlds Collide by Power Man 5000, of course. I was going to say there was a couple other ones. Evil Eye by Fu Manchu. I mean, you just had an insane amount of music.
Just a range of music going at once.
A vast variety.
Yeah, and is 2 the one where you can make your own skateboarder, or was that down the road?
I think that was underground,
because that was pretty awesome on the other ones too.
Yeah.
This is like the early phases, so there wasn't a whole lot of like crazy stuff you could do. Like
really
I think
customize. You could mainly like customize your boards.
I think you can make your own park in 2.
Yeah.
Which make your own park was so much fun, just to sit there and turn the ramps around and like make your own place to go and
just set up your skate park.
Yeah, I mean,
how you wanted it.
Tony Hawk games were definitely. There was another one that was like it. Was it called Skate?
Yeah.
That came down the road, like further down the road. But Tony Hawk was the OG of the skateboard games, and to think how much money he made off of these games. Like I remember him talking about it. It's like they were just happy to make the money they did, which nowadays it wouldn't equate to as much as it did. But if you take that to like this current era and something like that happened, I mean, you're talking like billions of dollars like coming out of that game, and everyone got their own cut of the game because you're in the game. And then I think like later versions include like Bam Margera and like newer skateboarders who came after these guys. But it was always, man, it's so funny to think that Tony Hawk's the main guy, but I don't remember playing as Tony Hawk very often. Everyone's like,
I'm sure
he's cool, but we're not playing as him.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that did play as Tony
like
Hawk.
We love you, Tony Hawk.
Yes.
Nothing against you, and it's amazing you can still skateboard way past your age that anyone would imagine you can, and you've been hurt a few times.
Or people that even have the balls to skate at that age.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, some people have tried to skateboard at that age, and it doesn't always work out sometimes. But he's definitely the OG, and all the other guys who are in the game. So it's definitely an overall just a fun game to just ride your skateboard and like challenge your friends. Remember, you would have the thing on there too where you would try to like multiply your tricks, and then you're like, oh man, I gotta try to beat him now.
Yeah.
So I gotta beat his high score, and I gotta sit here and grind, flip, manual, and like do all this stuff trying to get to the next spot.
Revert when you come back into a ramp.
Have you ever watched those videos of people that like play it now that like get like these really high scores, and you're like, how do they keep going so long? Like that's insane.
Years of playing it.
Like you're an expert at Tony Hawk Pro Skater too. That's wild.
Yeah, go outside and touch grass, dude.
Go outside and touch grass. All right. So the next one up is going to be iconic console startup sounds, the best console startup sounds of all time. Now these are the ones that I picked. So it's not all of them. There's still some out there still, and if you have some, comment them. But the ones that I have are, this one is probably the OG. The original PlayStation 1 soundtrack. It has that like that white screen that goes to like that, what's that like shape, like a square kind of shape. And then it's got goes to like just a basic PlayStation logo. But when you hear that like that, it just
immersive.
It just hits you like right in your heart of like nostalgia. Remember hearing that?
Yeah.
And the PS5 did have that for a little bit where you could have it on there
for like the 30-year anniversary of it.
And they took it away. I'm like, dude, come on, just let me keep it.
Yeah.
Like, why'd you take it away? It was so awesome to just see it just come up, and you're just like, oh man, just
every
like that.
Every time you turn it on, it'd queue up. And
yeah.
Like, they did one for PS2 too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and they did for 3 and like all the other ones, but the one startup is definitely, I don't know, probably the top dog.
The original.
Then the next one is the original GameCube startup, and it's got that and there is a thing with this that you can, I didn't know this till later, but you can do like a setting where you have the alternative GameCube startup
that makes different noise.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, why did we not know about this? Like, I was like back in the day, I didn't know to hit something it would change to this startup. I'm like, that is crazy.
We learn something new every day.
We definitely learn something new. Definitely on here.
Yeah.
But the GameCube startup is definitely one that just hits. It's just got that, just a basic startup, and then after that it goes to like a ooh, and then it goes to like the little cube, and you can like change each side to each thing. The next one. The original Xbox startup. It's got that.
It's like such a hard sound too.
And it just has that like cool feel. I didn't have an Xbox growing up. My friend did. He had a modded one actually, which had like thousands of games on it, but it still had the startup like the old one, and it's just that like, you know, like ooze thing coming out, and like the Xbox definitely was trying to hop in to the game at that time. So they definitely hopped right in. So the next one, the original PlayStation 2 startup, and it's got that, and then it like twists and kind of turns.
Towers and stuff, little lights floating around.
And then had that boom, and then the PlayStation 2 thing come up. Man, PlayStation 2 was definitely one of my favorite consoles, and it was one of the first ones, I think, wasn't it, that you could play like DVDs also?
Yeah, you could watch movies on it.
Or it was like, I can watch movies on this? Like, that's crazy. Like, now you can watch anything on your PlayStation 5. You can pull up YouTube or listen to music
if you want.
Yeah, or you can...
You're not trying to hop on with the boys, trying to watch Netflix.
Yeah, exactly.
HBO
I'm trying to...
Max, whatever.
Netflix and chill.
It's essentially just a computer, but don't call us PC gamers.
No, I'm not a PC gamer.
Yeah, we're console gamers. We can just do everything your PC does. Oh, well.
The next one is Xbox 360 with that whoosh, like
swirl.
Which everyone knows when we talk about Xbox 360, what's the one thing you always think of?
Halo.
Besides for that, the red ring of death.
Oh yeah, the red ring.
The little ring on the thing. That's what I always think of. I love the Xbox 360. I'm not a huge Xbox guy, but
I mean, you could play Halo.
It was
Xbox too.
Halo, Gears of War, like all that stuff comes to mind when you think of like that console. But that startup was like everything. It's just like a simple, and then you had like the home screen that had like the little like avatar guy.
Mm-hmm.
But the red ring of death is definitely something that stinks up, because you remember hearing about that where you're like, oh, you got the red ring of death where it was go red and then it don't work no more, and you're like,
oh, that sucks. Mine doesn't do that, and then yours starts doing it.
yeah, and then there's nothing you can do but replace it.
Yeah, you don't even have to replace your whole console. I'm pretty sure there's like a X bracket that goes on top above your blower, so your blower will get too warm and it'll warp that piece. Most of the time you just replace that bracket and it's fine.
Yeah, isn't that weird how something so simple that was
so minuscule
an issue back then?
Yeah, but it ruined your whole life if you got that.
It ruined your whole life.
You know what I mean?
Not just your day, your life.
You just lost everything. I also like that the original Xbox, you could basically burn CDs on it, or like put CDs, download music.
Oh, you could download them onto the actual Xbox, yeah.
So then while you were playing like Tony Hawk Underground or whatever, even some of the Need for Speed games, you could incorporate your own music from your Xbox onto the game while you were playing. So I just always listened to the used while I played those.
It was definitely ahead of its time, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Our next topic is going to be Beavis and Butthead.
These guys.
Definitely has to be part of the 90s, like up there with like characters that you can still see nowadays, and you're still like, man, like they're still
iconic.
Is me and my friend, I think we talked about this, but me and my friend used to try to like make their sounds. I don't remember if I was Beavis or he was Butthead, but we had it down like pat where we would do it, and it was like we sounded just like them. And what's weird is, you know how like you didn't really watch them, but somehow you knew what they were and like what kind of show it was, because even if you were too young to watch them, you still were like, I know who these people are, I know their names.
Yeah. And
they're pretty ridiculous, and they get into all sorts of antics on the show.
Yeah, crazy antics.
And then the next one up is
movie.
Beavis and Butthead Do America. I remember my parents having this, and I couldn't watch it. But then they gave it to my friend, to his parents, and then we watched it. And I was like changed forever by this movie for some reason. I was like, this movie is so stupid and funny. The whole premise of the movie was they had lost their TV and they were going to find the person that sold their TV. And they go on this really crazy adventure across
the
places to get their TV
to find
back.
a TV.
It was so stupid, but it was so funny.
Man.
Because just their characters, I mean, they're just goofy, and they get into all sorts of antics. And let's see, in this scene right here.
Here you are. Hey, Beavis. She touched my butt.
Hello there. Are you two heading for Las Vegas?
We're gonna score.
Oh, well, I hope to score big there myself. I'm mostly gonna be doing the slots.
Yeah, I'm hoping to do some sluts, too.
Sluts.
Do they have a lot of sluts in Las Vegas?
Oh, there's so many sluts who won't know where to begin.
Whoa. Hey, Butthead, this chick is pretty cool. She says there's gonna be tons of sluts in Las Vegas.
Cool. It's so nice to meet young men who are so well-mannered.
Yeah, I'm gonna have money and a big screen TV, and there's gonna be sluts everywhere. It's gonna rule.
Well, that's nice.
We ask that you turn your attention at this time to the front of the cabin for pre-flight safety instructions.
To fasten your seatbelt, insert the free end into the coupling. If you are seated in
third.
Look at that, the same end.
Yeah.
please ring your call button at this time.
Damn it.
Flight attendants will be
Hi, can I help you with that? There you go, all set.
I love you. Oh, wait, hey, cut it out. I want her to do it. Come to Butthead.
To Butthead.
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
Damn it. Hey, wait a minute. Hey, what's going on? Hey. We're gonna die! We're all gonna die! Come to Butthead. Could you, like, do that thing with my belt again? This is her.
Oh, she looks lovely.
I'm probably gonna make out with her first before we, get down.
I'm sorry you have to speak up, son. I have this ringing in my ears. My doctor says it could be related to my heart palpitations.
Really? I poop too much.
Maybe you're lactose intolerant.
No. I poop too much. And then I get tired.
Tired? Oh, well, I know all
I got
about
something for you.
tired here. I have just the thing for you. Here, take a couple of these. They perk me right up.
Thanks.
Caffeine.
He just takes a bunch of them.
Tastes like crap. Now, what else you got?
Go right ahead. Help yourself.
Gets geek.
So, going to Las Vegas?
Hi, we're serving dinner now. Our selections tonight are chicken piccata or seafood gumbo.
Excuse me, does the gumbo have corn in it?
I am Cornholio. I need picada for my bunghole.
You'll have to wait your turn, sir.
Are you threatening me? My bunghole will not wait.
How many people used to do that, the cornhole thing?
I got a beer. Want some? I am Cornholio!
Get the hell out of the cockpit!
You said...
Oh man, so great, such a great scene. Like, oh man, Beavis and Butthead Do America is definitely, if you haven't watched it, it's definitely worth watching. Just so funny, so many antics that they get into, and like the whole thing with like the I am Cornholio, pee for my bunghole, like that whole thing. We used to do that all the time. Put our shirts over our head.
Yeah.
And actually, Eli tries to do it actually.
I mean, that's also where King of the Hill got its start from Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
The I mean, obviously it's Mike Judge too, but their neighbor. That's them boys that's been a whacking in my tool shed.
Whacking. Isn't it funny? Like that's the start of like King of the Hill, which becomes like another great show.
Yeah.
And Beavis and Butthead aired March 8th, 1993. Beavis and Butthead made its debut on MTV to the delight of young viewers and the annoyance of their parents. While the people considered it the end of the civilized world, Time magazine Kurt Anderson lauded its universe, writing that it may be the best show ever run on national TV. Now, do you feel like Beavis and Butthead can continue to go and be relevant in our time now, or do you feel like it kind of like ran its time back then?
I think it ran its time back then. For as raunchy as it was, back then. I think there's way worse stuff on TV now. You know, there's
definitely some really off-the-wall stuff now.
There's some pretty.
But like back then, that was like our like high. You know, you know how like kids now are so like a scary thing. Let's say isn't as scary to them. Like when they watch like old horror, like what we used to watch, they're like, oh, that's not scary.
Yeah.
But to us, it's like I am terrified. And just like this, it's like this was like a peak of like inappropriate type of for older kids type of thing. But for us, it was
the Rick and Morty of the 90s.
Yeah, the Rick and Morty of the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of. Beavis and Butthead got their start on Liquid TV. Mike Judge went from teaching himself animation and playing bass for the
Anson
Funkerberg and the Rockets to having one of his cartoons played on MTV's animation showcase program Liquid Television in 1
year's time.
In 1 year's time, cartoon short Milton, the origin of the character from his action cult classic Office Space, appeared in a 1991 episode. In 1992, Beavis and Butthead made their loud, violent first impression in his short Frog Baseball. MTV then paid Mike Judge for the rights for the two characters and ordered 65 4-minute cartoons.
So 65 4-minute cartoons.
Yeah. Which I think, from what I've seen from Mike Judge, he kind of got like tired of like doing the show, and like he kind of got like, I think we have it in here, but it talks about like it just kind of like he like lost interest, you know, like after a while it was like, okay, like we need to kind of like end this, like it's not as good. But for us, it's definitely characters that will stay. I mean, you can bring them up and people always do the impersonation of them. Or there was those here recently, there was 2 guys that dress like them.
Yeah.
And they look just like them. And when I seen it, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so funny. Even like the shorts, like kind of, because their shorts are at the knees, they were like up here, shorts. And those goofy looking shoes, they're like their Metallica and AC/DC shirt, which is just like always stuck out, and they were just crazy. MTV pulled Beavis and Butthead from the air shortly after it premiered. Shortly after greenlighting Beavis and Butthead, MTV had to halt production, not because of any controversy, but because Judge and his staff couldn't keep up with the demand of new material. MTV stopped airing the show entirely 2 weeks after it premiered. It made its return more than 6 weeks later on May 17th with scientific stuff and good credit. I have not watched the new stuff, I will say, but it's definitely pretty funny. Like, it's just 2 little guys getting into all kind of crazy stuff. Mike Judge named Beavis and Butthead after kids that lived in his neighborhood. Beavis was kind of an athletic kid that lived 3 blocks from Judge while he was in college, and not similar to the character with the Metallica shirt, Christine with his surname. There was also a 12-year-old who called himself Iron Butt. because he claimed to never get injured from a kick to the
posterior.
Who had a friend called Butthead. What a funny story though. Like, how did you come up with those names? And then he tells him, called himself Iron Butt.
Yeah. Who wants to get kicked in the ass that much?
I definitely never been.
You know,
like life might kick you in the butt sometimes, but I've not physically been kicked in the butt as a kid.
I hit the balls a lot.
All references to fire were permanently removed from Beavis and Butthead after the show was blamed for a child's death, which is just kind of like crazy. 1993, a 5-year-old boy set fire to his Ohio home, which killed his 2-year-old sister. Their mother claimed Beavis's fire making and spoken love of arson were responsible. MTV's quick response was to only air the show after 10:30 p.m. and to wipe all fire references from previous episodes. Only fans who taped the offending episodes on their VCRs have proof that the word was uttered. Fire was banned to the rest of the series and original run, but it was allowed again in 2011. That's pretty wild, like to think like they blamed that.
That's how it goes. You get the same shit with Marilyn Manson and all that.
Isn't it crazy that
the reason for
because they recorded it? Like nowadays, you don't record stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, everyone's got a point. Someone's got to be the scapegoat for everything. You know, like blame video games, the violence in video games, and blame music for making my kid hate me. Like maybe I hate you because you didn't let me have candy that one time.
But would you set fire to the house though?
Yeah. I mean, could have been.
That's just crazy that it was blamed.
Curling iron on.
So they had to take it off because they don't want to get a lawsuit. And then they brought it back in 2011. It's like 2011 is a good year to bring it back.
Yeah. They're like, it's been some time.
It's been a little bit of time.
It's been 8 years.
Beavis and Butthead ended due to creative burnout.
Toward the end of the show's original run, Judge was running on empty. I actually wanted to stop a little sooner, Judge told Los Angeles Times. In 1997, we've done over 200 episodes since 1993. That's a lot. I mean,
that is a lot of episodes.
Think about it, how much animation it takes, and like, I mean, drawing and recording, cutting, piecing it together. After the second season, I thought, how are we going to do this anymore? I was completely burnt out. I got a second wind in season 3 and again in season 5. But I don't know. You do it as fast as you can, get it on the air as fast as you can, and there's never a break. I felt like, why not retire before this gets too stale or whatever? Yeah, man, you just, when you immerse yourself in any task, or, you know, whether it be a passion project. I mean, when you do what you love, you're not really working, but when you
like forcing yourself to do it.
Yeah, when you drown yourself in that said work, you start to resent it.
But what's weird though is like King of the Hill went, I think, probably longer, didn't it? Mm-hmm. And doesn't go as long, but King of the Hill has like more into it. It has more like depth to the show where you could continue to keep doing it.
There's a vast number of characters.
Yeah.
And I mean, and you can build off that character. You build your characters up, build different stories up. Beavis and Butthead were just two little dickheads running around doing whatever they wanted.
Oh, but you can still like pop them into everything every once in a while, and they still are. But it
also it incorporated music a lot into their episodes. You know, it'd show like clips of music videos or whatever, and they're jamming out, which I thought was cool because not a whole lot of shows, especially cartoons or animated shows, did that. You know, and it was neat
because it was hand drawn, like you said, like back then. Whereas like now, it's more digital done.
It's AI.
It's AI. Well, there's actually a lot of AI artwork out there, which is a whole different conversation. I want to give a shout out to our local game store, Evansville Toys and Games. Definitely a great store. The owners are awesome and their kids. It's a store that if you want to pick up anything retro, new, old, video games, cards, action figures, I mean, they literally have everything. And if they don't have it now, they might have it down the road. And they're super friendly, and I highly recommend that you check them out if you're in the Evansville area.
Absolutely.
We both have experience with them.
Yeah.
And I have bought most of the stuff from there, actually. Yeah. So a majority of the stuff you're seeing in the background is from there.
Yeah.
So
great
they're an
collecting.
Awesome store for collecting, and we're not like paid to sponsor them. It's just out of our hearts because they're an awesome store and they're locally owned, and in a way they're like our Toys R Us.
Yeah.
Because we don't have Toys R Us here anymore.
I get the same feeling walking into Evansville Toys and Games as I did as a kid.
Except for my wallet hurts a little more.
Yeah,
Because I look at prices sometimes the older stuff and I'm like, oh man, it's a little more expensive than it was.
We're just big kids with money now.
Big kids with money, and sometimes I got too much money to spend.
Yeah, but Evansville Toys and Games, huge shout out to Daniel and his crew. They're very, very family friendly, great people. They've served the community for many years here in Evansville.
Yeah, they've been through a lot.
Yes, a lot of ups and downs, but they are building their business better every day. And again, not a sponsor, but people that enjoy the nostalgic and old school things, you know, even new stuff. You're helping them out. I want to give a shout out to High Score Saloon and High Score Player 2. They keep that kind of retro, nostalgic arcade theme alive in the community. Great people.
That's also something that we don't have anymore is arcades. I remember being in the mall, and it's definitely really cool for Player 2, and I help them any way that I can because they're an awesome place. They're on the west side, so they have 2 locations. It's Player 2, and that's an all kids arcade, and you pay
$12 a person. 40 for 4,
and you can be there all day. You can come back. You can everything like
leave and come back.
Pinball. So if you want to play pinball without paying a bunch of money like you do at High Score sometimes, definitely can get really good at something. I wish the Halloween pinball machine that's currently at High Score would go over to Player 2. I would be playing it a lot. But it is cool to like the experience to like share with your kids. They have old school consoles, new school consoles.
Varieties of games.
Stands for Revolution. If you want to have your eardrums blown out by the it's so loud.
There's a lot of rhythm games, hand rhythm games, older consoles,
and also
pinball,
the owners are all great too. I mean, Clint and Jared, the original owners, are hands down awesome guys, and a huge shout out to them.
Yes,
they are not paying us to sponsor them, but there are 2 places, Evansville Toys and Games and High Score and Player 2, that we both support, and you actually
work there. Yes,
work at one, which is really cool. I mean, can you imagine being a kid and like, I mean, back in the day, you like use coins, and like now you just pay money, and you're like, I get to be here all day.
Now I'm like,
I can play so much Galaga and Pac-Man.
Yeah, now I'm 34 and I can do this all day when I feel like it.
And they also just recently too started to sell video games, consoles.
Yeah, so if you're looking to unload some of your older games and consoles, High Score Player 2, you can check that out.
You can hit Andrew up, or you can hit up one of the other guys.
Yeah, see what kind of cash you could be sitting on.
I think it's really cool that my son is like, when we get together, number one is Andrew has to be there for him to go. But he loves to go there, and it's cool to think like 2024 and arcades are still popping again, and it's cool to see these, like High Score is more of a barcade, whereas Player 2 is
adult
more
oriented,
like all ages.
Player 2
it's
is
really
all
cool
ages.
To just get to be a kid, and if you have kids, you can go there, or if you just want to pay $12 to go be a kid or like as an adult and be a kid, it's way better than Chuck E. Cheese is here nowadays. So I definitely recommend checking them out. And if you go to high score, you will need some money because some things cost cash.
You pay for pinball, skee ball, Guitar Hero, claw machines.
And Guitar Hero just had a tournament.
A huge turnout for Guitar Hero battle.
Yeah,
and that's
which is crazy. It reminds me of that episode of like South Park.
Yeah.
Where they're like battling and then like I hear
yeah, but everyone's like nothing happens in Evansville, but then they show out for a Guitar Hero battle.
Yeah. And so if you're over the age to be able to like
go into a bar,
alcohol, then you can go to
High Score Saloon,
and I highly recommend it. And they're always expanding, so there's always new games getting exchanged. Medieval Madness is definitely my top pinball game to go there for, which Halloween might be up there. I haven't played it yet, but Medieval Madness is. I use a lot of quarters to play.
Pulp Fiction right now is on my top. That game's awesome.
And also you have Oz there. Oz is who's at the door. Great guy, super cool guy,
lovely man.
So if you have a chance, check them out.
Check them out. Support local.
Any
chance you can.
Even on local weekend or just anytime you want to. And just always never stop being a kid at heart. Alright, so the next one up is going to be ashtrays on the back of seats in cars and push button cigarette lighters. Now if you remember growing up and you had this in your car, I remember we had a Oldsmobile Cutlass on the back seats. It had like that red all interior, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
With like the little ashtray on the back, and then when you sat back there, if you like touched it, it was really hot in the car. It would like burn you. And then there was an ashtray in the armrest.
Yeah.
And I never thought of like ashtray. Obviously, I was a little kid. I wasn't like, I'm gonna smoke cigarettes, and that's what it's gonna be.
Pass me a Marlboro pop.
But just remembering, like seeing the picture, it's like, oh, man, it's such a different time. And then to have a push button cigarette lighter in your car, which nowadays it's replaced with like a USB outlet or like in new cars.
Yeah.
Like you don't even have it. It's not even. I think it's an option maybe.
My 2012 Santa Fe I had a push button cigarette lighter.
Oh, did it?
And I was like,
see, my car's you said 2020, right? So mine's a 2018. And I don't have it in my car at all.
Mine was a 2012.
I don't even have a CD player in my car.
Dang, I got a 6-disc in mine.
Like, isn't that crazy?
Do you remember cigarette lighters, push button cigarette lighters?
I remember. You know what you used to use them for? It wasn't for smoking because I didn't have anyone that smoked in the car. But when you would get new shoes and you have that like plastic tie thing that's holding the thing on, you'd always hold it together and like push it against it because it'd get hot. You'd wait for it, and if you waited too long, it would like fly out of there sometimes. But it was like hot. Yeah. Like you don't want to play with be like, ooh, I wonder how hot it is.
Yeah,
like,
I was about to say, how many of you remember those? How many of you burnt your thumbs? Then just
seat ashtrays were a common feature in older cars, often located in the armrest or center console. They were designed to be convenient passengers who smoked, but also found uses for storing other small things like candy wrappers, coins, or even junk, because they're always filled. You open it up and fill with junk. Some cars even had multiple ashtrays, just like one Jaguar with 5 seats had 6 ashtrays. How many people are smoking in the car? Like, why do you need so many?
That's one stinky ass car.
And then also, if they got full, like it's something you think about, but you're like, where would you put it all?
They just pop them out. They pop right out.
How many people do you think actually emptied them though? How many people do you think just kept filling?
There's 6 ashtrays and everyone in there smoking.
If it's like the trash can in my house, we're trying to see how full we can get the ashtray. Probably like
stack it up.
Yeah, stack it up. Like you can't build the door.
It's adult Jenga.
But 6 ashtrays, that's a lot for one car.
That's nuts.
Like just get a cup.
But most of the time people would fill them up and just probably whenever they were going to Walmart or whatever, they just dump them out their car door.
Oh yeah, it's like those people that like toss out their gum in their car.
Yeah.
Instead of just throwing it away.
Just swallow it.
Just
swallow your gun.
Non-smoking uses, while designed for ashing and ashtrays, were often responsible for storing items, which is the same one we just did.
Yeah. Like sucker sticks, dude.
Car lighters, though primarily designed for igniting cigarettes, have become surprisingly versatile. evolving from a simple smoking tool to a common power outlet for various devices, while some newer cars are dedicated cigarette lighter inserts. Due to declining smoke, the sockets remained and are often used for powering phones and navigation, which no one really uses navigation. They use their phone now, but and other accessories. Which back in the day, TomTom, that would be one you'd hook up to the cigarette lighter.
Most cars now have a computer on your dashboard that tells.
Well, some do have a computer in their car, almost like it's like like the new Teslas have a screen that's like massive, and you're like, what are you looking at with that big of a screen?
Yeah.
Like,
I got to start my car and then drive with the 65-inch TV on my dashboard.
Cigarette lighters appeared in cars as early as the 1920s and became a standard feature by the 1950s. While the sockets remain, dedicated cigarette light inserts are less common in newer cars due to declining smoking rates and fire safety concerns, which it could be a fire safety thing. You know, like we're trying to be more safe and versatile. And I feel like nowadays, like smoking's not as like common as it used to be. Like I feel like now it's like common, but it's not in a way, I guess you could say, because that's why they're not in their cars no more. Because less people want to have it in their cars. It's an extra thing to buy. You'd rather be able to charge your iPhone or your Android than smoke, or you just carry a lighter, like
or matches,
or what, or
now everyone's vaping.
Matches? Did you say matches?
Yeah.
When I think of matches, I think of like fancy people that smoke like cigars and stuff, you know.
Hold their cigarettes like this.
Yeah.
Like on that, their cigarette turns out to be that long because the thing that the cigarette's in, you know.
Oh, because they have like an extension, like almost like an attachment.
Don't want my fingers smelling like cigarettes. Okay, well, you look like a crazy person holding that cigarette 15 feet from your face while you're still smoking a cigarette. It's odd.
It's one of those things that you just remember from back in the day, though, like the ashtrays in cars and stuff. It's so different now. I feel like everything's more like cleaner and like you know, it's supposed to look like
streamlined. Yeah,
like more like modern, where I have to take apart 15 things to get to the thing to fix it. Whereas back in the day, you probably just pop off one thing and it's right there. Yeah. So the ashtrays on the back of the seats is definitely something you don't see no more. Like you just have, I think on mine it has like a little holster to hold things in the back of the seat.
Yeah, there's usually like pouches now.
Yeah, which used to be used for maps. Yeah. That's where the maps went. Before there was TomTom and all those other things, we had these things that were called maps, and you would actually highlight where you're gonna go, and if a road change, you would find out when you get there.
Yep, you didn't know about construction until you were getting into it.
Exactly. Like it wasn't like, oh, you're gonna have traffic due here soon, you're gonna be behind. It was like, hey, you're in the middle of construction, you gotta find a way around. You gotta hold that thing real close and look at it and try to find a route to go around.
Or and even when maps were obsolete, people were printing out Google directions. I remember going to concerts.
what was that website? MapQuest?
Yeah, MapQuest.
MapQuest, and you print it out and it shows you like directions, and you gotta like drive and trying to follow this thing at the same time.
Yeah. You're like, hey dude, you want to go on a road trip? And you're like, yeah, here's a 50-page book about every turn we're gonna take the whole way there.
But then you take an alternate turn and you mess the whole thing up.
Yeah. And you're just.
So I feel like now we don't like do a lot of like thinking about what we're doing. We're just like, you put on your phone, like you said, it's easy. It just kind of tells you like, go here, go here.
Take a left in 500 feet. So now, before you would talk to your friend or your mom or your dad or whoever you were going on this trip with, and they'd be like, hey man, on exit 57, you're gonna want to take exit 57. And then 3 miles later, you're going to take a left onto whatever road. Now, your GPS says, turn right now. And you're like, why didn't you tell me that?
Don't you love when you're like,
40 seconds ago, you asshat.
Pulling off to the gas station and it keeps telling you to go back. And you're like, dude, I'm going to go back. Stop telling me. Like,
yeah.
Like, I'm going to go back. Don't worry.
And I'm like, I'm just pulling over to this gas station to take a dump.
I got to take a dookie.
Yeah. I'm still going to get back on track. Shut up. And then when you're sitting in that gas station bathroom, hoping you don't get like stabbed or addicted to crack, your map's still going off in your pocket, and you're just like, what is going on here?
Like your car's still connected to it.
Yeah, well, even like you just didn't turn the map off
whenever
you walked in.
Oh man, it's at different times, man. I feel like now it's like it's less likely to get away from technology than it is to be in technology.
Technology's made, but as cool as technology
it's helped.
Is, yeah, it's been universal for a lot of things. But now I feel like there's so much information out there that everyone knows everything about something.
It's overly saturated,
and they just try to talk to you like you're stupid. You know?
Or it used to be when you would hear something, somebody would tell you something, you didn't know if it was true.
Yeah.
So you would kind of like word of mouth was kind of like the standard. Whereas now it's like, hold on, let me pull my phone out, let me look it up.
Yeah, someone's like, hey man, did you know, they could say anything.
Yeah.
Do you know glue's made out of horses? And you're like, yeah, I'm going to Google that. Hang on. Is glue really made out of
And then it says it and you're like, yeah, you're
and you're like,
cool.
All
right.
I've eaten horse before then because I ate glue.
Oh,
Man
man.
of many flavors.
So the next one up is going to be something from the 90s and 2000s, I think is when it aired or was around, which is Heinz ketchup that was colored. Do you remember colored ketchup? And the two that pop up in my mind for the colors have to be purple and green.
Yeah. We already had red ketchup.
Yeah, who cares about red ketchup? That was just the squirt bottle part, but the ketchup commercial is funny.
New Heinz Easy Squirt Ketchup has a nozzle that makes it easy to draw.
His car is covered
On food!
on food.
Heinz Easy Squirt.
Oh, man.
It's fun for your food.
Oh, Heinz colored ketchup was just something else. I remember thinking like, I mean, that looks like gross because like the color would make me think it's gonna be gross. Oh yeah. But all it literally was just ketchup that had food coloring, and that would make your poop turn purple or whatever color you ate.
If you eat it, also fun fact: if you eat enough purple and blue colored items like cake icing and stuff, it'll make your poop green, and it's fun. It's really fun. I'm
sure Eli knows about that one. Yeah. The Easy Squirt ketchup, known for its vibrant colors like green and purple, was a popular product in the early 2000s, especially among children. Initially, the Blasting Green was launched to coincide with the release of the movie Shrek, and the later colors like purple, blue, pink, and orange were added. While the colored ketchups were initially successful, the novelty wore off and the line was eventually discontinued in 2006. Because, I mean, it's just colored ketchup, but it's just one of those things that you remember as a kid, though, seeing it at like your friend's house or your house, and you're like, colored ketchup. But I don't remember seeing blue or pink.
No.
Do you remember those
Not
two?
At all.
Or orange?
Yeah, but I just think that I just think the purple and green stood out the most. You know what I mean?
I mean, purple ketchup's kind of weird. It's like
I'd go to a friend's house and they'd have colored ketchup, and I'd go home and be like, Dad, Mom, I really want colored ketchup, and they're just like, mix it with mustard, it turns brown. And I'm like,
mix it with mustard.
That's fair.
What they should have said is you can just put food coloring in your ketchup.
No.
It'll change eventually.
Mix it with mustard, boy. Shut up. Eat them corn dogs. By the way, shout out to corn dogs for being perfect.
Some argued that the colored ketchup tasted different from traditional ketchup due to the added food coloring and other ingredients, which I can't remember it tasted much different. I remember it just being kind of weird. Like, I almost thought it was going to taste nasty or different because of the color.
But I think that's what people got in their heads. That, like, it's a different color. It's not grape flavored ketchup.
That would be kind of good, though.
It's just
grape flavored ketchup.
It's just jelly. It's just the color.
It's one of those odd things from back in the day. So the next one up is going to be your favorite school lunches.
And you have it pictured right there. That was everything. Square pizza?
I definitely got a good picture for this.
Yes.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't really eat school lunch very often as a kid, so my go-to was my Toy Story lunchbox, which I have back here, and it was red. And it had like Toy Story because I was really into Toy Story. It was like plastic. Remember the plastic ones? Because you didn't have the metal ones because those were never gonna break, but the plastic ones would. And a bologna sandwich with chips, and the drink was usually like Capri Sun or Yoo-Hoo. Like those were like the drinks I would drink. But you remember having a bologna sandwich and putting the chips you had in the sandwich? Like that was like a thing, wasn't it?
Mustard and chips on
like you're putting chips on it. You're like, I'm gonna put the chips in the sandwich. Yeah. And it's like it just like enhanced it.
I won't get grease on my clothes if I put the chips on my sandwich.
Yeah.
I remember just making cheese sandwiches.
I don't eat bologna ever now, though. That's the thing. Like as a kid, I ate it all the time. Like
Bologna's,
all the time.
I mean, it's probably not good for you, but
yeah. I mean, I'm still here.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's a lot better than like Spam or like something else.
I like that these days people call the little red wrapper around it panties. They're like, you don't need those.
What is it?
Call them panties.
Panties.
You ever take your bologna's panties off?
No, I remember the wrap though, the red wrap around the bologna edge, and you'd like peel it off. Yeah. And then they had like the pickled kind, which I was like, like not really my thing.
They have like an olive loaf too, man. That's like bologna and olives, and it's everything you dream of.
Yeah, as a kid, it was just basic bologna out of like the little like plastic thing where you pull the lid and like it's like red and like clear pop. Yeah, like bologna sandwich. But another thing that I remember as a kid from school lunches is the milk pouches. Yeah, where you would try to like puncture the milk pouch without going through the other side, which was a crazy idea, wasn't it? It was like, why don't you just put it in a carton?
Yeah,
like it is now. It was like you had to puncture it and not puncture it too far all the way through where you would hit the other side.
They're like, well, you like Capri Suns, do it with chalky milk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chocolate milk and pouch, I don't know why, it just tasted good. It's like one of those things. And like the square pizzas as a kid has to be like top tier of like school lunches. And then another thing with that was the person serving it. You would have some awesome people sometimes that were serving
lunch ladies? Yeah.
And then you would have some lunch ladies that literally hate their job. Like they would not want to be doing it. And then in high school I remember Osco sticks, which were just so good. And I couldn't find a picture of it, but you remember the icing on the cookies, where you had like the cookies are like real thin. They come in like a little like, I don't know, like a plastic bag kind of thing. Yeah. And then when it had the icing, you're like, all right, these are good. And then sometimes they'd be like way too cooked, and you're like, okay, how'd you mess up cooking cookies? Yeah. But sometimes they'd be like soft, like almost to the point to where they're like not cooked enough, but they are cooked enough, and you're like, all right, this is like preem cookies right here. Like this is where it's at. Like you're a kid, you're just, everything's so easy to entertain you with. But now school lunches have gone more towards like the healthier route, so it's not the same. Which I think ours was, I mean it was kind of healthy. I remember the whole like pyramid type thing where you had all your things you're supposed to eat, like wheat and milk and vegetables, fruit, grains, like all that stuff was on there.
Sugar was the smallest one, but that's the one we ate.
But we drank like sodas that had like 50 grams of sugar in them, probably.
We became addicts.
Like you're talking about doing drugs in gas stations, or doing drugs and probably the amount of sugar we ate all the time.
While people were getting addicted to crack in public bathrooms, gas station bathrooms, we're getting hooked on soft drinks in grade school.
But school lunches were definitely, and it was also like with the school lunch, it was, you would sit with your friends and eat your lunch together, and you guys talk about who knows what.
There was one kid at my school, he drank a milk every day, every single day, and he was lactose intolerant. So like,
but he would chug it probably.
Like we almost at first sat in like alphabetical order until you made friends or whatever. But
yeah, because you don't know nobody.
Also, small town kid. But this kid would drink his milk, and then he would hurry up and eat his lunch, and then he would just vomit it all over the place. And I'm like, every day, dude.
Every day, you're like, you don't learn.
What are you doing?
You haven't learned yet, buddy.
Yeah, you should stop that.
You should stop going so hard.
Yeah. So I made a point to like, if I ate lunch.
Yeah.
Because like I really only enjoyed pizza day because I'd get an extra piece of pizza. I was a super fatty. It was great. But I tried to eat and get away from that kid because I knew he's like, hey, this dude's a ticking time bomb. He's about to puke all that milk up. It's wild.
Well, that
growing up in the 90s, man, it's crazy.
Yeah, people just chugging stuff, which my son chugs like food. The school food industry is larger than the nation's biggest restaurant chain, serving 4.9 billion school lunches annually. President John F. Kennedy established National School Lunch Week in 1962 to promote healthy school meals. School lunches are designed to be nutritious, including grains and variety of fruits and vegetables. That is a lot of school lunches.
A lot.
4.9 billion
Annually.
That probably goes up every time because there's more kids.
Oh, yeah, because people be making kids.
Because people be making a lot more kids than they used to sometimes.
People be making babies.
Alright, so our next one up is Scary Movie 2. And I picked this one in particular because I have seen this one so many times, and every time I watch it, it's still funny. And it's one of those ones you can like go back to and like remember like certain things from it. And I'll say certain things from this movie all the time because this is one you can just continually bring up. But Scary Movie 2 is a 2001 parody film that spoofs various other films, particularly those released in the late 1970s and early 1980s. It follows a group of friends as they investigate a series of unexplained phenomenon, including a haunted house, a mysterious killer, and a psychic. The film is known for its slapstick humor and sarcastic commentary on horror movie tropes. So this first one, when you meet the guy for the first time,
I'm sorry, child. Did I frighten you?
it's Little Head.
I'm sorry. Are you scared? All right, I'll sing to you. God is in His holy temple. Better.
I'm here with Professor Oldman's group.
I'm Hanson. I'm the caretaker.
Hi.
Hi. And what's your name, sweet child?
I'm Cindy.
Cindy. Oh, but the resemblance is striking. Look at the same cheekbones and the same lips, same,
She's rubbing her hand.
same eyes. Look at your hair. Oh, I'm sorry. You've got the same nose. Tickle, tickle.
Tickle, tickle.
Beep, boop on the nose. Shall I show you to your room? Oh, that's heavy. Woo, that's heavy. I better use my strong hand.
Better use my strong hand.
Clumsy. Look, you got the
He starts like
fancy
sniffing her underwear.
Look at what you got here. Can't forget your toothbrush. Oh, gonna need
He
that
puts
for
it in
later.
his mouth.
Here we go. Follow me, child. Watch my body.
Watch out.
Coming through.
I'm gonna work it out.
This way. Here we are.
So, do you live here by yourself?
Well, yes, we've tried to rent it out, but people don't seem to want to stay very long. Oh, there's old Mother Kane. And that's old Master Kane.
Who's that?
That's Big Daddy Kane.
Big Daddy King.
Oh, he's cute.
Oh, yeah. That was the master's favorite toy. I don't know what it's doing out here. I swear, sometimes I think these toys have a mind of their own.
Ow!
Oh man,
so great.
The little hand thing and how he like you say, like he puts underwear on his face and he smells them. He's like, here, let me use my strong hand. And he brings it down. Oh man, can you imagine like acting that scene out?
Oh,
get that little hand off my face.
Yeah.
Like,
can we cut? This thing is creeping me out. Looks like little shriveled up burnt hot dogs. Help! Take my strong.
So this scene where he's
Here. Oh, take my hand. Ah, come on. You're gonna fall unless you take my hand.
Give me your other hand.
Oh, my other hand isn't strong enough. You take my little hand.
No, get it away from me.
Take it. Take my hand.
he literally just falls. He's
Falls
like,
to his death. Dude, didn't want to touch that though.
oh.
How big his thumb is too.
And then this scene is so
man.
funny right here.
All right, well,
Mashed potatoes.
who'd like some appetizers? Oh, yeah. That's what I like to hear.
Hey, these buns look good.
Oh, yeah. And they're so soft and warm.
Ray.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
These are delicious.
Thank you, my child. I made them by hand. Okay, here we go. I think the taters are just about done. I'm just gonna give them one quick whisk here.
And he's like,
Okay, now, dig in. All right, now it's time for the turkey. Oh, what a beautiful bird.
No. Hey, man, why don't you just relax and just let me do that for you?
Yeah.
Rest that little hand.
It's my pleasure. But what a nice young man to offer. Let me give you a little pinch there. Come on.
Oh, fuck it.
You know, a lot of people are kind of intimidated about making a turkey, but really it's very simple. You just have to know the anatomy of a turkey, and it's got over here just the tiniest little stink hole, but it's big enough to get your hand right up inside it. Stuff the shit out of it. I cook it with all the giblets, the penises and the ginies. And now a lot of people like to baste their turkeys, but I use this. I lick like that and get into the little tiny hole. Mm-hmm. That's nice and good. I don't know what the hell that is, but I lick it anyway. Up and down.
But I lick it
Then I
anyway.
like to stick that right on there. And I've got one of these. I'm gonna pull that off and bam! That just kicks it up a little bit. All right, I think that's almost ready now. And then we bring it to the table. Good. All right. Who's ready for a wing?
Oh my god.
oh,
And this one's the other one I picked.
I love it. Her underwear says like Wednesday and it's Friday or something.
What the?
What the?
Hey.
I like how I made a zipper sound and it's a ghost. Really wearing pants, bro.
Oh, okay. Hello. I know I want to freshen up.
I wish you to freshen up too. Get up there. Come on.
Oh, you want this?
Yeah, who's it? Who's it?
Daddy, take it like you own it.
You run from me. Come here.
Bring it on. Kiki's my middle name, bitch.
The painting
That was
changes.
the best that I've ever had. Mrs. Huey came. Doesn't it just have a ring to it?
He just
Baby, where are you going? Call me.
Let's do something freaky.
Like what, Ray?
I don't know. Why don't you talk dirty to me?
I don't know what to say, Ray.
Come on, just make something up.
Oh, Ray, why do you make me so bad?
Come on, cause you a bad girl.
Okay. I'm I'ma work this.
Yeah, work it.
I'ma make this mine.
Ooh, it's all yours. Oh, yeah.
I'ma piss on your face. And then I'ma fart in your mouth. Yeah, and then I'ma shit on these walls, Ray. Ooh. Hey.
Okay. It's like it went too far. Oh, man.
Good night, little plant. You drink all this little water up so you can grow up to be a nice, strong crime plant. Yes, yes. And then you'll be smoked by all the rappers and make them do a whole lot of dumb shit that fuck up their careers. Yes, you will. Night, night, baby.
Toothpick.
I'm gonna rob that bitch tonight.
Lockdown Records presents a hip-hop Christmas. You'll get such classics as Santa Claus is Coming on Moms, Jingle Balls, I'm Dreaming of a White Woman, and who could forget Frosty the Dope Man? And how about All I Want for Christmas is the Charges Dropped, These Nuts Roasted on an Open Fire, A Sleigh Ride in My 64, Annie Up Bitch, It's Christmas, and many more.
Y'all buy that shit,
Get this 2 CD set in stores just $19.99.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to smoke your relatives. Please, no! I didn't do it by myself. Whitney and Bobby help me. Please, help me! Wait, no, wait. Oh, shit, sir! Oh, shit!
Oh, my God.
He's being smoked by a smoke spider.
Oh, shit! I smell something burning! Oh, sir, it's me!
I got an idea!
Oh, wait a second!
Hold on, Shorty!
Don't rush me yet! I'm getting high as a motherfucker! Help! 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 Take it to the head! Take it to the head! Ah, you take it like a bitch!
Put the Shorty down! And I'll give you Funyuns and Cheetos!
Oh, shit! Oh, shit!
Put him out!
This shit burn more than a perm!
Oh, man. So many great scenes from that movie, and that was just a few. There's obviously the one where he's in the wheelchair and you're trying up the stairs, remember? And they're all asking, you need any help? And he's like, no, I got it.
I can do it myself.
And then the scene where they have like the, what is it, like the UV glasses or something like that, where they can see ghosts, and
Come all over his face.
all over his face.
Oh, man. I like the little basketball scene, too.
The basketball scene
was
where
hilarious. I mean, it's an iconic movie.
There's so many great scenes on that movie, and I only picked a few just to kind of pull some of them out, because there is so many great scenes, like just so many, like take my strong hand, and like the whole thing with the, is there something on my face? Just so many classic lines that you can use throughout your life, like things I still say now, like take my strong hand. Like, that's just probably one of the funniest ones in that movie.
I'm a personal favorite of when she gets attacked by the cat.
Oh, yeah.
The cat's all angry at her, and she's like, is this because I took a dump in your litter box? And it looks over, and there's just like a huge steaming pile of shit, and the cat just loses it. It's like, oh man, it's so funny.
And I was looking up that movie, I saw all the different like parodies, and there's like a list of like tons of movies where it's pulling from each one. It's crazy to think about like all the parodies were used in just Scary Movie 2, because they originally did it just kind of like for fun, and then it kind of blew up for a little bit where it was like, okay, let's do some more.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they did some more, because there's some other great ones, and we'll talk about other ones here in the future. This was just for Scary Movie 2, because there's just so many funny things out of that movie, like the turkey scene where he's like, is there anything you haven't touched? And it's like the pie. And he's like, oh, so how's it taste? Oh, I'll taste it. And he puts his hand in there, and he's like, oh, really? Not everything you've touched. Touched the mashed potatoes, touched the turkey, did more to the turkey than just touch it, licking it. And like, it's just such a funny movie. And like you said, the actor Jim Curry in the movie, it's just so funny. Like to think he went from a Rocky Horror Picture Show and like that kind of like dragoness type of vibe going on to like now how he is. It's just crazy. But it's definitely a funny movie, and it's worth a watch for sure. Alright, so some closing thoughts are we covered, let's see, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, Scary Movie 2, School
Cigarette
Lunches.
lighters and cars. Ashtrays and cars.
Yeah.
Colored ketchup. Talk about buttered sausage. That's funny. Yeah. Covered a lot of things. What do you guys remember about your past childhood?
Or just school lunches. If you have any favorites, just comment them.
Let us know.
Definitely some great topics, like some funny stuff. Just like we finally covered a food thing, which we've been talking about doing from like the 90s or 2000s until, like you said, like the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 to the Scary Movie 2 to like favorite school lunches to like school lunch memories to cars with ashtrays and lighters in them to we even talked about maps, which was kind of like a side topic, but it kind of like ties all together. But it's definitely a lot of nostalgia, which it helps us to remember times when things were a little bit smoother and simpler and they weren't so overly complicated. Like you said, we're overly saturated for sure nowadays.
We just like to take a step back.
And just like to take stuff back to the back seat or just talking about old times as a kid. Because as a kid, man, things are just so easy going.
We took it all for granted.
Yeah.
But it's good to reminisce on it. Because if you're on hard times now, it's good to look back and appreciate your upbringing or stuff that made your life better, funner.
Gratitude,
when you were younger.
Gratitude for the times that things were like you thought they were hard, but you were just living in a time that you never knew would never probably come back.
Yeah. Helps you appreciate the now more.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you guys listening to us or watching us and taking this time with us.
Yeah.
Hope it makes your day better. Let us know if there's something you remember from your past. Share your thoughts and ideas with us.
Yeah, or like a topic you might want to hear us talk about, because we are open to like ring in. And I'd say probably the biggest thing we're growing on is probably TikTok, but we got TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube.
OnlyFans?
No, I don't have an OnlyFans. No, that's this guy with his cool pants going on. And by the way, we have to give a shout out to Andrew for dressing up to show up, because he definitely outdressed me.
But what's really cool
he definitely,
I don't know if you noticed this floral shirt I'm wearing.
It has like venom in it.
It's got venom.
I seen that
all over it.
When I seen him get out of the car, I was like, dude, what are you wearing? Not because I'm hating, because I've never seen Andrew wear like this kind of outfit. And
I'm able to
props to Andrew for like losing weight and like doing all sorts of stuff to be more healthy, and like now he can enjoy wearing like
dope
cool
clothes.
Stuff. Man, I'm so happy for him, and I'm so proud of him. And I'm just wearing a Turtles Dare shirt that says, let's see,
it's a Pizza Hut shirt too.
Yeah, it's a Pizza Hut turtle shirt that says no crack, no smack, no angel dust.
Yeah,
we're just rocking a Dare shirt from like back in the day. Shout out to the brand Toy Snobs. If you haven't checked them out, they're an awesome brand of like clothing that I might have like 6 shirts coming from in the future, because I'm addicted to shirts.
Yeah.
There's one thing you know about me: I like shirts. Andrew likes hats and shoes
and socks.
And socks.
I've got Ninja Turtle socks on.
He's got that's so funny. You wear Ninja Turtle socks?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so great.
I'm a big kid that I dress myself. So
definitely,
we don't have a wardrobe person. So
no, we don't wardrobe person. I literally just pretty much got out of bed, because this is an early episode. If you don't know, we recorded this real early, so we're starting the day out just right, having some good chill vibes, and we hope that you enjoyed it and enjoyed the ride. And until next time, peace.